You just said over there.
Well, I was going to say, maybe we can climb all the way up there, right?
We're going to start with questions for the student athletes, please.
Question for Paige. Congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
Yeah, the team really came together strong and actually played some serious defense. What do you think about that, and how much of an honor is it to play the Women's Champions Classic?
Yeah, I thought we played a really good team game. I thought we executed our game plan and our scout very well. And we tried to limit their what they wanted to do, make them uncomfortable, get in the passing lanes, deny stuff, deny their actions. I thought we did a good job on defense. I thought everybody had a huge role in tonight's win. And it's amazing just to play here. It's such a huge showcase with great teams around us in Barclays. It was a great atmosphere tonight, so it was an honor to play here.
And question for Sarah, if I could. You managed to carry the team, led the team with 21 points, and the bench really contributed as well to this route. Like, what are your overall thoughts of the team performance?
Oh yeah, I think we did really great. We communicated well and did what the coaches told us to do, and just played great team ball.
Right over here.
When Azzi goes down on the floor, just what is going through? Is there that slight, your heart skips a beat a little bit or something, or in the third quarter?
Yeah, obviously as a teammate, we all love each other. We all want the best for each other, and especially when she has the injury history that she does. Just to see her go down in any form in the game, obviously you don't want to see that. But as a team, we had to really band together, weather the storm, not play too much into the emotions, and try to just focus on the game. But definitely feel for her in a moment when it happened to.
Question for each player, if that's okay. Jackie Powell with the next. Sarah, first for you, what is it about this offense and defense that allows you to play with the comfort and poise that you do?
Definitely the coaches. They kind of let everyone do their thing in a way, and you just gotta go out there confident. It makes it easier.
And Paige, for you, I'm just curious, what are some examples of what Sarah does on the floor that make her maybe way beyond her years?
I think her instincts, she doesn't think much when she plays, she just reacts. And you can tell she's been watching basketball, been around basketball. It's been a huge part of her life just by the way she plays. And I think underrated thing about Sarah is her hands. Call her Go Gadget arms. It's like throw the ball, whatever the ball comes off the rim, like it can be 5 feet away. She just grabs it and gets it. And it shows up in the boards on defense, getting deflections, getting tips, blocks, steals. So I would say those things.
Paige, can you expand a little bit on what you said before this tournament? I mean, Coach is instrumental in getting this thing to actually happen, to have 2 games, a doubleheader on national television on Saturday night. I don't know if it's ever happened before for women's basketball, so how big is it, the way this game has grown, to be part of the first one of these?
Yeah, it's huge. We never want to take it for granted being on a stage like this, with teams like this, and just being here at UConn, just being part of these games, it's huge. And like you said, it continues to speak on the growth of women's basketball, to continue to have these events and have these platforms, be on national television, play in NBA, WNBA arenas, and continue to have showcases like this to showcase our talent. So it's awesome, and it's an honor to play in it.
2 quick questions, one for each of the players. Sarah, do you know your own wingspan? Speaking of Go Gadget.
Oh, I don't know why I told her. I do not know.
And then, Paige, just you played with a lot of very good voice players in your time at UConn. What's it been like, actively developing chemistry with playing with Sarah, and how does that compare to the others?
Yeah, I think Sarah's more like a guard than any of the post players that I played with. She can play inside, outside, on the perimeter. She handles the ball very well. She passes very well. So all that to say, there's not a lot of things that Sarah can do. And so it's been awesome continue to build that chemistry, and just to see her play at this level, on this stage, and do what she does. It's been awesome.
Thanks.
Congratulations on the win. Howard Randolph the next. One for each player, if I could. Sarah, first, Geno said that you were a program trajectory changer when we talked to him in preseason. I'm wondering, is that the type of thing that you take to heart, and do you think about your role in this program beyond just, what you're doing on the court freshman year, but just what it means for UConn and its success over time?
It means a lot. Again, I came here to win championships, so yeah. I don't know what else
No, that's all God kind of says Paul. And Paige, a fairly simple one for you. Just, you've now played at multiple WNBA arenas, and I'm wondering which one is your favorite and why?
Probably not this one. No, nothing personal. Just didn't shoot well, obviously. I don't know, where else do we play?
So Target Center. Mohegan, obviously a bunch. I think those are the three.
I like the Target Center, because it's home, but we've had some great games at Mohegan Sun too, so love Barclays, but obviously not tonight. TCU.
Paige, a little off topic, but just what's the past 24 hours been like for you, and to see your teammates wearing your shirt today?
It's very cool, very surreal. Yeah, you don't really have time to process it in live action because you're so focused on the game plan and winning and executing that. So I'm sure it'll be something that I look back on. But it was very cool and very humbling, and I'm glad we got to do it as a team.
Players, congratulations. Two quick ones. Sarah, how familiar are you with the cartoon Inspector Gadget, if at all?
I don't know what that is.
Generation kids.
Oh, wow. Kids. I'm an adult. Thank you.
So, thank you. Paige, in light of a beauty products company being the title sponsor, there was a makeshift salon at one of the Barclays Center, and young girls are going in and getting your braided hairstyle. How does that make you feel, and what are the thoughts that might come to your mind if someone goes to like the barbershop or the salon and says, "Oh, I want the Paige"?
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, like I said before, it's pretty surreal just to have that, have younger kids look up to me and just like.
She's not happy. She just saw a picture of Go Gadget. She's not happy with you right now.
But yeah, I really love it. It's very humbling. Like I said, it motivates me to continue to keep working, keep being a great role model, and very grateful for that.
Hi, Shantae from Short and Sweet. Paige, this is for you to continue that question. There's so many young girls that look up to you. What piece of advice would you give to the young ball players that are coming up in the next generation?
I would say to enjoy the process. Don't get too caught up in being result focused that you forget to enjoy the process. Enjoy the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows, and just everything that comes your way, and just embrace it, play the hand you were dealt, and make the most of it, and continue to have fun. I think that's the biggest thing is you can get caught up in a lot of the outside noise and the pressures, but just remember why you play, and have fun, and be faith-driven.
All right, thank you to the players. No more questions for Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go in.
Glad you've seen Inspector Gadget now.
You can start with whoever.
You still envy me? Still envy my job? It's all fun and games, isn't it? Like I needed more kids to raise. I've already done my job. I've already raised 3 of them.
Coach, congratulations again. Previously, we had a couple conversations. You said you had teams prior to winning the championship that the players can do numerous things well. How would you assess this team this year prior to the last couple of years?
Yeah. Last year, the last couple of years, I would say, because of the circumstances that we were under and how many players we didn't have access to and how we had to scramble and put things together, and players had to play 39 minutes every night. If things were going great, things were great. If things started going a little bit sideways, we had no way to change the game. And there was tremendous pressure on Paige to have to be way more than anybody can possibly be for, for an entire season. And the difference this year is, think about it, we have 2 kids that started 30-some games and played 39 minutes every night coming off the bench. So automatically that makes us a better team than we were last year. We have Geno with the size that she has that we didn't have last year. And then finally, Sarah brings a dimension that we probably haven't had that dimension in a post player, and we've had some really, really good ones, don't get me wrong. Like, Fisa was great, and Olivia was great, Aaliyah Edwards was great, and they all played in the Final Four, and they all had fabulous careers. But I don't know that anyone has had the offensive skill set that Sarah has since Stewie was here. Now, they're completely different players. They're built differently. They play the game differently, but they accomplish somewhat the same things. Obviously, she doesn't have Stewie's ability to block shots and change the game that way. But I think for a freshman, and that's a component that you put all those together. You put Azzi out on the floor that we didn't have. You put 2 kids coming off the bench that were starters that we didn't have that kind of bench strength. You had Jenna's size, and then you had Sarah. And obviously, you're looking at a Final Four team from last year that got way better. Unfortunately, so did a lot of other teams do better. So.
Yeah, Coach. Now that the Women's Champions Classics in the books, what can the players do as far as maintaining consistency for building strong offense going forward?
Yeah, we've had some really interesting games this year. This is the 3rd ranked team that we played, and in all 3 of them, in Carolina, we went down there and got up, and then let the game get away from us, and played Ole Miss and got up a lot, and then let the game get away from us in the 3rd quarter. And today we were determined that if we had an opportunity to have an advantage going into halftime, that we were not going to come out in the 3rd quarter and let up and let the game come back to us. And I think the 3rd quarter it's like 23-9. We played exceptionally well in that quarter. So we're at Notre Dame on Thursday, so it doesn't get any easier. And it could look a lot different, but I always say that this is what we're capable of doing. And I guess a really good Louisville team, so this is what we're capable of doing. Doesn't mean we're going to be able to do that every night, but we know that this is in the picture for us. Last year, we weren't sure whether or not we could do this or sustain it. Let's put it that way.
Geno, congrats on the win. To address something that I asked Sarah about, and something that Jeff said, you have on your scouting report for Louisville what he said. Our number 1 is to try to stop Paige. Our number 2 is to try and stop Azzi. And Sarah, obviously, you're a great player and give her a ton of credit for that. But it's a 3rd person who can do all the things that Sarah can do. And it reminded me a little bit of that 2016 team, I remember Scott Brewer talking about in the postgame of the Final Four semis, saying, you know, we made the decision we couldn't even guard more than Tuck because there were too many other things that they had to figure out on the defensive end. And I just, yes, the depth obviously is a major difference from last year, but having that third person who, you know, in the same way that Tuck was a lottery pick, you know, is that what you mean by changing the trajectory?
Yeah, because let's say she's not on our team. And Paige graduates this year, well, Paige leaves this year at the end of the year, having already graduated. Who potentially steps in her shoes as that player that you have to build your scouting report around? We wouldn't have them. So, you know, with that ability to play big, play on the perimeter, that allows everybody else that you put out on the floor to be a better player than they would be otherwise. Okay? So, the best teams we've ever had at Connecticut, they were three-pronged. Okay? Whether you go back to Kara Walters, Rebecca Lobo, and Nikisha Sales, or Stephanie Dolson and Bria Hartley, and, you know, Clayton Mosqueda Lewis, Stewie, Tuck, and Mariah, you know, and you get to that level, and one of the best ever was, you know, Renee, Maya, and Tina. And people would ask me, like, what makes this team so special? I said, well, we have the absolute best point guard, we have the absolute best center, and then we have the best player in the country. So when you can come at people with those three things, then you have a chance to win every single game you play. And we're fortunate that we have, you know, something like that. We won't know till later on whether it's the equivalent of that, but we've got something like that going for us right now.
Appreciate it.
Could you have an update on Azzi, just what happened with her, and is she doing okay?
You know, she attracts the weirdest stuff, right? You know, Notre Dame, the kid gets pushed into her and she gets hurt. And today, I don't know if you all saw it or anything, but kind of like she got herself in an awkward situation and somebody, you know, fell on her or something. So she was walking around, she was fine, and it didn't look like worst case scenario, let's put it that way. And that we were all crossing our fingers and hoping. So, you know, we'll know more when we get back, but I hope I'm right, but it's not, you know, it's not that worst case scenario that we've seen so many times before.
Hey Geno, Jan Jensen spoke to us about how much work you put in to get a showcase like this at Barclays Center and for it to be on Fox, which is one of the 4 major networks. I'm just curious if you could reflect upon all of this coming together and getting to see it happen in the way that it did tonight.
Well, I may be getting too much credit, but, you know, I will say that my conversations with people at Horizon, right? You know, David Levy, I think, kind of spearheaded this is what I want to do. You know, I want to showcase women's basketball. How do I do that? I want to invest in it. The people at Fox then were piece number 2. If we could put something together, we will give you the platform to show it. And then thirdly, how do we want it to look? And I said, you know, there has to be a component where all the best teams in the country want to play in this tournament early on against each other, which it's happening more now but that's something that it happens, but not everybody has access to seeing it on a large scale like this one is. So the fact that we had access to Fox, the fact that Verizon was willing to step up and put it together, I was just, okay, I'll figure out a way to get the right teams in here and see where that takes us. And these next 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, I'm proud to be the host. And then we'll do our best to bring 3 championship teams. You know, I did talk to them a little bit about going forward. It's going to be, you know, teams that we'll try our best to do this. It may not always be possible, but we want to bring in teams that have won national championships and throw them out